Well, it's ASMR Football World here. If any of you have watched this channel before, or any of my videos before, you'll know I'm a massive football nut, massive fan. But what you might not know is that for about 20 odd years now, 28 years, I've been a massive wrestling fan. And I thought it's about time I give my take on wrestling in the style of ASMR. Now, I listen to wrestling podcasts, I watch them, and I watch ASMR wrestling podcasts. So I say, I just want to give my version of my take on it. And I'm going to do it just once a week. It's still going to be a football channel. It's still going to be 95% football videos. Just on a Sunday, once a week. If it picks up, maybe I'll do 2 a week, but definitely on a Saturday or a Sunday. I'm just going to do a little video, whether it be predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view, news from the week, a review of Raw and SmackDown from earlier on that week, whatever it might be, whatever takes my fancy. Now, as we all know, we've got Raw 25 coming up in a couple of days, so I thought, what better topic to do than my top 25 wrestlers of the last 25 years. I mean, seriously, I couldn't think of anything better in terms of what's coming up. And also, I'm going to do a Royal Rumble for the predictions as well. My choice to win and who I think will win the matches on the undercard. So let's get underway with this. It's difficult to try and narrow it down from hundreds of thousands to 25 blokes. Now, you might disagree with my opinions and my choices. That's fine, that's what it's all about, YouTube. So drop me a line in the comments and tell me, I don't agree with this one. I can't believe you put him in there, or you've not put him in the top 10. And how can you put that person in? I get that, and I appreciate that. So, this is my opinion. So I've enjoyed watching for in the last 25 years, and you might have a different 25 altogether. But let me know. I'm happy to discuss that with yourselves. So number 25, the Demon Finn Balor. Great wrestler. Really unlucky that. I mean, I've never seen anyone given such a big push when they first come onto Raw from NXT, or anyone comes to Raw whatsoever. He beat Roman Reigns in his first match. No, sorry, he had a match, didn't he? He qualified to then fight Roman at the end of the evening, and he beat Roman. I couldn't believe that. And was that for the title, or the chance to fight for the title? Either way, great wrestler. Or small compared to some of the bigger blokes, but that's good. You know, it makes it more believable. And he was really unlucky with his injury. He picked up that bad injury when Seth Rollins threw him into the barricade thing around outside of the ring, and he was out for a long time. Picking up some momentum again now. I think in the next year we'll see him maybe win a title. Back with the Balor Club, like he should have been when Anderson and Gallows first came in. He should have been with them from the start, and it's great to see. He's now finally getting another chance to prove himself. There will be tag teams and stables in this because I prefer them either as a tag team or as a stable as opposed to on their own. So number 24 is the Dudley Boys. How these blokes moved the way they did for the size of them, I'll never know. These are big lads, and they had some fantastic matches. You know, the original stuff against like the Hardys and Edge and Christian, Jericho and RVD. They had fantastic matches against all of these blokes. TLC matches and ladder matches. And they just didn't know how to take it on after a while, so that's why they left for a long time and then come back fresh again. Bob Owen had a big run in TNA as a champ, and that was great to see. He deserved that. To headline it, main events on his own, brilliant. It was a shame for Devon, but they're back together and whatnot. And putting Mae Young through a table way back then, I can't believe he did that, but Mae Young, she was up for anything like that, which was always fun to watch. But Dudley Boys are my number 24. Now, number 23, the Big Red Machine, Kane. He's neither going to win a title. He won't win the title Rumble. He's won titles in the past, but at the minute he's running for like some political position in America. No, fair play to him if he can get that great stuff. Glenn Jacobs really seems like a really nice bloke off screen, what I've seen of him. When he first came into WWE, sorry about that everyone, but he reminders, do what he did. When he first came to WWE and come up through the ring against Undertaker. Really shocked everyone. It really was convincing back then. I mean, they tried to do an Undertaker double before that, and that wasn't convincing in the slightest. But Kane, it was believable that he could beat anyone, including the Undertaker. And that was all owing to Glenn Jacobs and how well he did. Number 22. This bloke should not have been able to move the way he did. The way he does. He's an incredible athlete as a bloke of his build. And that's KO, Kevin Owens. Great on a mic. I was really happy when Triple H helped him win the title. I think it would have been good if he could have won it on his own without interference from Triple H. But it was a nice little turn of events. But where did they go with it? I was hoping at the time, okay, Triple H is now in Owens' corner. He's going to be like, authority figure. Owens is going to work for the authority, but he didn't. They didn't push it on. He didn't go anywhere with the title really. Won a few matches, ultimately lost it pretty soon after winning it. And now he's up against AJ with Sami Zayn, trying to win the title back again. And I really do think they dropped the ball with Owens regarding that early push. He should have been good. When he first came in, first match, he tried Cena up and challenged. Beat Cena. Rematch the next week, beat him again at the pay-per-view, I think it was. What an opening, good push for him. And it's a shame that it's took a while for him to get back to a position where he's challenging for a title, but ultimately I don't think he'll win. Number 21. Since I mentioned his name, pretty much everyone listening is probably going to be, oh my god, I can't believe you put him in there. And most of you probably slag me off in the comments. That's fair enough, you're welcome to your opinion. I'm reading Chris Jericho's book at the minute, his third book, The Best in the World. I've read his first two, now I'm on to the third one. And he says about this bloke that, although his actions are disgusting and he can't ever understand them, as a person, before that, he couldn't knock him. He was such a down-to-earth, nice bloke, apparently. I don't know him as a person. I'm talking about his wrestling abilities, what he did in a ring. Not even his mic skills, because they weren't the best, just what he did in the ring was great. And so number 21 is Chris Benoit. When he won the title, I was really chuffed back then, and he was a great athlete, great wrestler, really intense. Wasn't great on a microphone, and maybe that was his downfall. But from what I've heard, what I've read, rather, he was really intense off screen as well. He had a bad match against somebody the one time, I think it was against Jericho. I think he had a bad match against Jericho, and went out the back, after the match, and made himself do 1,000 or 10,000 squats, or something stupid like that, to punish himself for having a bad match. I mean, that's bloody nuts really, but either way, his wrestling ability, nobody could knock him for that. He was a great athlete, great wrestler, and he had great matches, just not so much good on the mic, and the way his life ended means he'll never be mentioned on WWE television ever again. And I'm sorry for his family's loss and his friend's loss, but he's a wrestler. I can't not include him in my top 25. Number 20, Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan, he was very much the star of the 90s. When he come back, he was more living off his WCW name. He had a great match against The Rock, but back then it was more, his arsenal was pretty limited, weren't it? It was a leg drop, a body slam I think he used to do, a lot of pandering to the crowd, but kids loved him, but women loved him, men loved him. He was like a family bloke, the one you wanted to win. I was only a kid, and I loved watching Hulk, but as I said, his wrestling skills were limited. I could probably pull off more wrestling moves than Hulk Hogan. Most of us could if we tried, but what he did worked fantastic, and he can't make it into a top 5, and he isn't my favourite wrestler of all time or anything like that. But he has make it into the top 25 just because of how big of a star he was. He was the original superstar in WWE before Stone Cold, before Triple H's, before Brock Lesnar. He was Hulk Hogan. Number 19, Mysterio, the original small guy, I guess you could say, before Finn Balor. If it weren't for Rey Mysterio winning the title and showing what he could do, you wouldn't have a Finn Balor now possibly challenge for a title in the next year. Because Vince just didn't used to trust smaller guys. Rey Mysterio really changed people's opinions on what a small bloke could do. I saw him against Undertaker, up against Batista, and he was fantastic. He used to prove, he showed himself every time that he could hang with these big blokes. Rey Mysterio makes it into my top 20, at number 19. Hopefully he makes a comeback. There's been talk for a while now of him going back to WWE, and I think he's scrapped 205. It's a lot of crap. He's just restricting people like Neville and Cedric Alexander and some of the other really top talents down there. There are young lads coming in, not so much young even, but top fighters coming in and wrestlers coming in who are going to be stuck in that 205 bracket because Vince doesn't think they can hang with the big boys, which is ridiculous. 18, another high flyer, but he should never have been a high flyer because he was so much bigger than what a small bloke should. He was so much bigger than what he should be able to do, is what I'm saying. His size was that of a heavyweight to an extent, and his moveset was that of a welterweight, like a Rey Mysterio. The smaller blokes we'd expect to do these moves. And number 18 is RVD, Rob Van Dam, the whole fucking package, as he used to say. Or the whole effing package, you'd say. But yeah, Rob Van Dam, unlucky when he won the title. A bit stupid. He won the title and then about a week or two later or something like that, he was caught, stopped by the police with, I forget who was in the car with now, and he was caught high as a kite. He was always smoking weed, and he got collared, and they had to step off him. They had to make a scene and make a point of saying you can't do this, and they stripped him of the title. He won the ECW title as well whilst in WWE, and some of the moves he'd do, you just can't believe he was doing them. He made a comeback a few years ago, but he was never the same as his original run in WWE, when everyone was against him, and all the fans were up for him. They all wanted him to prove and to win the biggest titles. Number 17, I had to decide between his, 4 different characters. Which one I preferred the most? I'm sure you've guessed who it is. But out of the 4, it could only be one, really, the one who made the biggest impact. So, for Mick Foley, I'd have to pick Mankind. And, for a bloke who wasn't in shape, for a bloke who shouldn't have been beating Undertaker and some of the others, he really was convincing as Mankind, and he made you believe that, he really was this shit scary person, hiding in boiler rooms and all the other crap. His promo was some of the best I've ever seen. And when he started doing like the Rock and Sock connection with The Rock, that was hilarious. So I'm going to go with Mankind. Number 16, my favourite. When I was a kid, if you'd asked me for my top 10 when I was a kid, he would have been my number 1. I seen him live in at Manchester when I was about 8 or 9. Bought a pair of his shades from the flipping merchandise store, and the Montreal Screwjob. At the time, I wanted to go and bloody take my revenge on Vince myself. Believe what you read in terms of whose fault it was. Bret didn't want to do business with Shawn. He refused to drop the title to Shawn in Canada. He wouldn't lose to him. He didn't think he should lose to in his own country. Whether he should or should not, I don't know. Vince didn't trust him to hand back the title because he was going to WCW a couple of weeks later. It was the time of the Monday Night Wars and a lot of paranoia in WWE. So, at number 16 is Bret Hart. best there ever was, the best there ever will be, whatever else he used to say. Top bloke in terms of wrestling. Shame his career ended up the way it did. WCW didn't do anything for him. You know, he'd lost his brother in WWE. He was in WCW at the time when that happened. And it's just a shame that his legacy, I mean, a lot of wrestlers here say he wasn't a top bloke, he wasn't a decent bloke. But I don't know him as a person, obviously. I just know him as a wrestler. As a wrestler, he definitely makes him to my top 20. So 16 for Bret Hart. Number 15. Sorry, people. Number 15. Another top wrestler who was unlucky with a career-ending injury. But when he was really on it, he was top draw. And he had a couple of years where he was at the top bloke in the company to an extent. At least up there with Triple H anyway. And that was Edge. When he had his term, even when he was a face, you know, when he first come through with Christian, he was on his TLC matches, the Dudleys and the Hardys, and then he turned heel, and him and Lita got together and they turned on Matt, and he led to championship runs and great matches with everyone and anyone, and he obviously had his injury, picked up quite a bad injury, and the doctor said, if you carry on, then you're going to have to, you know, you could be paralysed or quadriplegic. Same thing, I think, isn't it? So he's unlucky with injuries, with that injury anyway. But Edge makes it into 15. 14, a third generation wrestler. His dad was Cowboy Bob Orton. And number 14 is Randy Orton, the Viper. Easily the best finisher in the WWE from what I can ever think of. It's so easy, and he can hit it out of nowhere, which I love. He hits some of them, like Bray Wyatt, he'll set his move up, Sister Abigail, he'll stand there for ages, well, yeah, I'm going to do this. Then some of the others, Batista, his powerbomb, he'd stand there, stick his thumbs up in the air, then his thumbs down, you know, dragging crap on. You get Randy Orton, and you think you're about to, but he'd do something to him, no, he just hits you with a RKO. Numerous titles he's won, easily a future Hall of Famer, and still one of the top wrestlers in WWE at the minute. Now, another stable. Most of you are probably going to say one of all three of these blokes should be in the top 25. I get that. One of them I think deserves to be. Two of them I don't. So, number 13 is The Shield. Which one you're asking do I think deserves to be in the top 25 on their own, and which two shouldn't be? Well, one that shouldn't be is Dean Ambrose. He's never broke away and really done it, has he? He's held the title, he's held a few titles, but he's the most boring and generic wrestler on the roster at the minute. The way he does that thing where he goes through the ropes and bounces back. I mean, one match I remember counting, I think he did it like 4 times in a row, you know, or during the match 3 or 4 times. You need to change your moveset a bit, mate. So Dean Ambrose won't make it in there. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, most overrated wrestler in WWE. If he wins the Rumble this year, it'll be his 4th Mania in a row. What a joke. Or his headlines, I mean. Now, out of everyone, I'd say Seth Rollins deserves to be in the top 25 on his own, but it was easier. I preferred him as a stable, so I'll go with the Shield. Yeah, they made a massive impact in WWE when they first came in, going through the crowd, and I'd have to go with the Shield as a stable. Number 12. He could eventually match. Is he already matching Ric Flair's record of titles, or I think he's already matched it. Anyway, number 12, John Cena. Again, most of you have him in your top 3 or 4, but I've been watching wrestling for 27, 28 years, and I like Cena, not all the time. Since he's accepted that fans don't really like him, you know, he makes fun of himself now, which is great to see. I can enjoy him a lot more now due to that reason. And the the fact that he's not being pushed every single week to win, and he's happy to go over for the up-and-coming guys, which I think is great. So Cena at number 12. Number 11, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, what can you say? Went to MMA and made it, did well at UFC, apart from his head kicked in his first fight against, I should know this, I've watched the fight, but Frank Mir, beat him in his first UFC fight, and he had a couple of losses, but in general, did pretty well, and being able to come back to WWE, hold the title hostage for 2 years now, which is ridiculous. You know, she's still be the champ now. No, you want someone who's going to be on there every week in, week out, defending the title, and no, I don't think that should be Roman Reigns. God help us if that's the case. Number 10, left WWE under a cloud. A lot of anger towards him from the top people at WWE, and I think he should be brought back, and hopefully he will be. He's one who went to UFC as well, didn't make it, and that'd be CM Punk. I don't think, from what I've read and what I've heard, that Triple H and Vince were too happy with the way Punk left, but that's their problem. Punk did what he felt he needed to do, and that's that. And he had some great fights, he was a great wrestler, he wasn't a big pumped up steroid freak, and he was helping break the mould for people like Finn Balor, and to an extent Seth Rollins, who isn't as big as some of the other blokes, but still hanging with the biggest. Number 9, another one who has seen Punk to thank in my opinion, AJ Styles. If Styles had come in before Punk, Styles probably would never got anywhere near where he is now. Even being as good as he is, he's my favourite in terms of wrestling ability. I'd say he's the best around it, bar on at the minute. But in terms of like his size, I don't think he'd been pushed to win the matches he's winning if it weren't for somebody like CM Punk proving that you don't need to be the biggest to hold a title. I'll just convince the fans that you're good enough to win titles. Sorry everyone. Number 8, my favourite personality ever in WWE, and probably the biggest loss in the history of WWE in terms of his death. At the height of his powers, he was so funny, and he was convincing. You believed that he was that good, and he had this lucky break. They gave him a chance, and he ran with it. And unfortunately, he had issues with drugs at the time and alcohol, but he got good again. He cleared his life up, and he turned his life around, and that would be Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. Great matches, great athlete. I was embarrassed for his family when, after he died, his wife was on TV so much, and I didn't like that myself, you know, hanging around some of the other wrestlers. Maybe it's just me. I'm not, obviously, Eddie probably wanted his wife to keep making a living and doing well for herself. I just felt they made a lot of money off the death of Eddie Guerrero, and it made me a bit sick at the time. Also, who was it? It was in a match now. I think it was Rey Mysterio, and he was in their program with someone, and they were saying, like, I think his Orton said to Mysterio, "You're going to hell with Eddie," or something like that. Something really not very nice. Number 7, I've already mentioned his book. I've just finished his second one. I'm on to his third one, and that's the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Chris Jericho, Y2J. Such an athlete, such a personality. He's been able to go away, come back each time, and still make an impact. He's obviously away at the minute. He's just had a big match recently against Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13, I think it was, or 12. He's number 13. As I said, great on the mic, great in the ring, really funny. I really enjoyed his work with Kevin Owens recently. It was a shame they got broken up, and I'd say he easily deserves to be, should be in the top 5, but the top 5 of that, you know, of such a high standard that he makes number 7. Number 6, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. I wish he hadn't left WWE when he had. Obviously he had his neck problems and WWE didn't want to keep risking him. So he went after TNA and started on another 10 years, 10 good years. Well, about 5 good years and 5 years were mediocre. It'd be nice to see him back in wrestling again. Obviously he was with the Shield a while ago. I think that was at Survivor Series. Or wherever that was. But yeah, I'd go out number 6 when that first come in and needed some funny stuff with Stone Cold and whatnot, trying to get Vince's sort of like Vince to like him. He was there playing the guitar and stuff like that, and it's hilarious. Just check him on them video clips on YouTube if you've not seen them in the past. Number 5, the future owner, in my opinion, or whatever, of WWE, Triple H. The way this bloke, he was a good wrestler, but the way he's gone on and on and on, but over the years, he married Stephanie, obviously, but he really just, he's grabbed the ball and run, and he's kept running, no one's caught him. He can make any decision he wants in WWE. He can pick and choose who he's going to, or if he's going to win a title. He could come out and decide, I'm going to win the Rumble this year. And then he goes and wins the Rumble. I'm going to win the title at Mania against Brock. He'll go and win the title. He doesn't, and he won't. But he could do. He has that power. And he's proved himself great on the mic, great in the ring over the years, and very believable. Number 4, Triple H's DX partner and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. As a kid, he was the ultimate heel for a long time, and the women loved him, and the men hated him for that reason, because they knew that there were misses who were in the crowd with them. They didn't take the misses to the matches or to the shows because they'd just be there, but, wanting Shawn, weren't nice with the blokes, so the blokes loved to hate him and the women loved to love him. And he was a bastard back then, on drugs, sleeping with all the different women, sleeping with wrestlers, girlfriends, and but in terms of wrestling ability, you can't take it away from him. Easily top 4. Again, probably should be top 1, but top 2 rather, but I can't put him in there because of who's ahead of him. But Shawn Michaels, fantastic. I still love seeing him on TV now. Number 3. Now these were difficult. I had to take a few things into consideration for my top 3, from matches to personalities on screen, impacts they had. So number 3 is the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker. As I said, I was watching him when he was first breaking through in WWE, or WWF back then, having matches against Yokozuna, casket matches, Giant Gonzalez, Kamala, those sort of matches, Hulk Hogan, obviously. And the way he's changed his personality and ring appearance and character over the years, from the biker to the dead man to, he had an occult at one point where he had like Gangrel and everyone was part of that. He was kidnapping Steph and putting her on a crucifix. It was great, and he can still do it now. Well, not so much now. I hope for his sake we don't see him again wrestling, because I think he's going to be there on Monday for the Raw 25-year anniversary. But he has had his day in terms of his body. He's earned his rest. He has earned a retirement now. He should just enjoy being retired. He don't owe anything to WWE. They owe him. Get him into the Hall of Fame and bring him back for guest appearances or something if he wants to. Keep making sure he makes his money and give him whatever he wants. He shouldn't be wrestling. He should just enjoy the adulation and the respect of everyone who's ever watched a wrestling match, and just enjoy the rest of his life. Number 2, the Brahma Bull, that's what it used to be called. The Rock, probably the biggest star in America at the minute, in Hollywood rather. I've just been watching the Fate of the Furious. You know, it's built like a brick shit house. You see the size difference from when he was originally in WWE to now. But now The Rock, one of the best personalities ever on television for wrestling. Still, you know, he could come back tomorrow and he could come back at the Rumble, and easily get a bigger cheer than anyone else there. My number 2 anyway, The Rock. Some great matches. The best promo I've ever seen. He was such a funny bloke. And then some, like I said, rivalries with Mankind, Cactus Jack, or it was Mick Foley back then, really, wasn't it? I think, or Mankind, Stone Cold, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho. He had some great stuff with loads of different people. So The Rock at number 2. And number 1, you've probably already worked it out by, you know, figuring out who hasn't been mentioned yet. It can only be the toughest SLB ever in the WWE ring. Stone Cold, because he when he left, really disappointed, annoying, because he was, you know, like I said, the toughest SLB. Great on the mic. His rivalry with Vince, legendary. You know, he used to come down the beer wagon thing and squirt beer all over Vince and The Rock when he was on like a big thing in the ring. He did his big thing with Kurt Angle when they were trying to out-sing each other. I was playing the guitar, always tricking like Chris Jericho at the end of matches. Jericho thinking that Stone Cold was his friend, and he'd be really happy that Stone Cold wanted to have a beer with him, and then Stone Cold would kick him and give him a stunner. Again, the stunner, another move along with the RKO that would just come out of nowhere, and you kind of always knew when it was going to happen, but it was still great to see. And yeah, Stone Cold is my number 1 in my top 25 wrestlers of the last 25 years on Raw. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fit the Rumble video on here, so I'll do a Rumble prediction on, actually, we'll see the time. I'll quickly run through now, should be okay. So, my Royal Rumble predictions. Obviously, I don't know for fact that these are what's going to happen. Just what I have a feeling will. So we'll run through the card. Enzo Amore versus Cedric Alexander. I've got to go with Enzo's the champion, but I can't see him holding the title much longer. And I don't think he should be in 205 in the first place. I'm going to go with Cedric Alexander to win the title and push on. Hopefully break out the 205 bracket though. SmackDown Tag Team titles. Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin are the champions. They're good, don't get me wrong. I don't really buy them as real heels when the Usos were the heels. I've enjoyed that a lot more. The Usos are great on the mic. Best work they've ever done, in my opinion, in the last year. You know, since becoming heels and now they're turning face again. I think they should still be heels. Easily the best tag team in WWE at the minute. The Usos are. You ain't got to watch, you know, their matches. Look at them cage match they had against the New Day last year. One of the best cage matches I've ever seen, and that's rare because it was a tag match. But no, they're fantastic at the minute. So I'm going to go with the Usos to regain the titles. The Raw Tag Team titles. Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, sorry I forgot his first name then, versus The Bar. I think you've got the writing's on the wall, I think, with Jordan and Rollins. They've got to split up soon. You know, Jason Jordan's the most annoying kids I've ever seen. He's so fucking up his own arse, and soon I can't understand the whole angle being his dad crap. It's nonsense. I guess it's one way to get him over, but now the Bar regaining the titles here, and so they should. If they're not going to regain the titles, they have to split them up and give Cesaro a push, because his work this last couple of years has been the best of his career as well. I I'd like to see him get a title shot as a heel. A possible match, in my opinion, would be Bobby Roode, who's the US champion now, which I was surprised that he won it so early. I thought they'd carry on for another week, maybe even have the finals at the Royal Rumble. Versus Jinder Mahal, who obviously wants a rematch, and Dolph Ziggler, who never officially left WWE. It was all for the storyline. I honestly think he's going to come back, and I think they might have a triple threat match at the Rumble. I could be wrong on that match, like Roode versus Ziggler, but definitely Ziggler will be back, and he's going to claim never to have lost the title, and that he wants a match to try and win it back. And I think we might actually see the best Ziggler we've seen in a couple of years now that he's going to be making this big comeback. He probably went away to film or something, or I don't know. I just need a bit of a break. But I think Ziggler will come back and prove that he's one of the best technical wrestlers in WWE at the minute. Maybe not the best personality, but one of the best wrestling. WWE Championship match, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Can Zayn and Owens really work together? Is Owens going to get jealous of Zayn? Is it like a triple threat as far as I'm aware? It's Zayn and Owens against AJ. I think a double champion would be good if Zayn and Owens won. It could be interesting. And then maybe that happens. Maybe they win the title, and jealousy starts happening over the next few weeks or the next month or two leading up to WrestleMania, arguing over who's the champion. If you think about it, whenever they announce it, it's like the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn team, and then I was like, no, the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens team. I think if they win the title, Zayn might be like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and I was like, no, it is Owens as the champ and Zayn as the second. I can see Owens turn on Zayn if they win the title and setting up a WrestleMania match. But I can also see why that being a Raw bloke is winning the Rumble, which is probably going to happen anyway. But I can also see AJ beating the two of them because there's, when push comes to shove, they can't work together. But we'll see. So, Universal title. Brock Lesnar versus the Big Red Machine Kane and the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. If you've watched Raw this week, you would have seen Braun Strowman destroy that big bloody TV truck and wreak havoc and get the sack and then get rehired. My opinion is that made him look strong because they have no intention of him winning the title. He ain't going to get pinned. That's why they stuck Kane in this match. If Braun's in the Royal Rumble, he'd have to win because of his size. They needed a big match for Brock Lesnar. You can't have him in the Rumble, he's already the champion. So, who was left to fight Brock Lesnar? He had to, like I said, Kane ain't going to win a title. He's running for whatever it is over in America, political position. So, he ain't winning that. And plus, his age, and his best days have gone. Who else? Braun Strowman, he won't get the pin. He'll be maybe hurt on the outside or something or other. And Kane will get F5 by Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar wins. And Braun Strowman, maybe he goes into a triple threat match at Mania with the eventual winner of the Rumble and Brock, wouldn't surprise me. Or maybe he goes into something else at Mania. I'm not sure. But he doesn't win the title at Rumble. Now, I ain't going to go through the whole Royal Rumble, the whole 30 men. The Women's Royal Rumble, I think you're going to see Ronda Rousey make an appearance and win the whole thing, which wouldn't surprise me. But the Men's Royal Rumble, I've narrowed it down to a last 6. I've a 95% chance. I'm pretty sure 95% of me thinks Roman Reigns is going to win the Rumble. set up a title versus title match against Brock Lesnar at Mania. He'll win the title there, become a dual champion, and maybe lose the Intercontinental Championship at a later date. Or hopefully WWE, that's stupid. It'd be Roman's fourth in a row Mania where he's headlined, which is greedy and not good for the rest of the talent who deserve a chance to headline Mania. But the last 6 I've got down to Roman Reigns. It goes without saying, if he's in there, he's going to be in the last 5 or 6. Shinsuke Nakamura, who I can see winning and going on to face AJ Styles at Mania. Should be a fantastic match. John Cena, I don't see him winning. He's got a lot of commitments in terms of Hollywood and whatnot at the minute. He'll just be making an appearance. Samoa Joe, I think he's come back from his injury at the minute, and I can see him definitely, having an impact. Sorry about that, guys, belly's rumbling a bit here. Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor. Is he good enough to win? Of course he is, but now he's having this big thing at the minute with Anderson and Gallows, where they're setting up the Balor Club again. I don't think he's going to win just yet. I think they'll maybe have a big thing with the Shield or something or other coming up. But yeah, I can see Balor definitely being in the last 6, which leaves us one other. Now if you go through who's already in a match, like the big blokes are already in matches, so AJ's already in one, Owens, Styles, Rude, Mahal, Brock, Kane, Braun. It doesn't leave you many options of who could be number 6 left over. There's talk of Batista coming back. That could happen. Jeff Hardy's still out injured. He injuries have got for quite a while. Who else is being told? Triple H could make another appearance. Like I said, he could win it. There's obviously Randy Orton, who would not surprise me in the slightest if Orton's in the last 4 or the last 6. He always seems to be in the last few at the end of a Rumble. Now, I'm going to say that somebody who's already been in a match will re-enter in the Rumble. I'd like it to be Cesaro. I think I'd like to see him maybe even win the Rumble. And if him and Sheamus don't win their title match, and maybe split up, maybe an argument or something or other, or both just enter the Rumble and Cesaro make a breakthrough and win the whole thing. So my 4 who could be surprise picks in the Rumble would be Braun Strowman. If he loses his match with Roman, maybe he sets to Angle. He's already shown he can push himself around and dictate what he wants. He might say, I want to be in the Rumble, stick me in there now, and he gets included. And we see that during the show, Rumble, and we see him being included because Angle's scared of something or other. And Braun goes in, maybe wins it. Cesaro, as I said, I'd like to see him there. Maybe he gets included and wins, or just makes it last 6. Sami Zayn, again, I'd like to see if Zayn and Owens lose. I'd like to see both of them included in the Rumble. I'd like to see Sami Zayn get a good push. I think if he was to win it, if they set them in this storyline they've got going, he is good enough at the minute. Zayn, his popularity is that good that he's been allowed to show his personality a lot, and I'd like to see him get a chance now of headlining a main event or becoming a champion. So Zayn maybe to go on and win Mania. Win the Rumble and go on to Mania. And my last surprise pick, not to win it but just make a big run in the Rumble, because he's done it a fair few times before now. He's going to be at the Raw 25, and that would be Chris Jericho. We all know he's in fighting shape at the minute. He's just had that match against Kenny Omega. He's going to be at Raw 25, as he should be. And I'd like to see him get, a slot at the Rumble, rather than bringing in all these old blokes who we haven't seen in like 20 years. Bring them back for their, in the past, bringing in Doink the Clown. Obviously he's not with us no more, but they have in the past. Bringing in Jim Duggan and all these other sort of people. We don't need all that. Bring in Jericho. I've been down to the last 6 maybe. And that's it. That's my Royal Rumble predictions. I think Roman Reigns is going to win. I'd like to see Samoa Joe win. I think that'd be great. And go on to face. But then you'd have to face Brock Lesnar, and they've already had Joe Lesnar. You've already had Reigns Lesnar, obviously. Balor. You wouldn't have Balor against Lesnar. Cena against Brock Lesnar. Or Cena against AJ Styles, because you can pick who he fights due to the fact that he's dual branded. You can fight on Raw or SmackDown. That could be an option. Nakamura, Nakamura versus Styles. A great match. I'd love to see that for a title, but it'd be a great match regardless whether it's for a title or not. Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar. I think that'd be great. I really do think that'd be a good match. I think Cesaro's really proved himself this last year, but he's not great on a mic. That's his only downfall, is his microphone skills on his own. He just falls on his face a lot of the time. So, if I'm going to pick who I think they're going to go for, it's going to be Reigns. If I'm going to pick who I want to win, it would be Samoa Joe or Nakamura. But maybe there'll be a surprise thrown in there somewhere, a surprise entrant that none of us can think of. Batista's been linked to in the news to win. Well, I don't know. For everyone's sake, we don't need Batista making a big bloody entrance and going on to win the whole thing, because he ain't going to be there for long, is he? That's it anyway. That's my predictions. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've been Ollie's ASMR Football World. As I say, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, drop me a line in the comments. If you disagree with anyone in my top 25 or my Rumble predictions, let me know. I will be back next Sunday with going over Raw and SmackDown from the week before. There'll be Raw 25, we'll discuss that. And any more news about the Rumble, which will be that evening or that weekend, we'll go over that, because I might do it on Saturday, I don't know yet. And that's it. If people like these videos, I will do maybe 2 a week rather than the 1. But if not, I'll just do the 1. And I will keep doing regardless of how many views I get, because I do enjoy wrestling and I do enjoy talking about it. So, see you later. Take care. It's been Ollie's ASMR Football World. Hit the subscribe button and the like button. See you later.